Raise your right hand. Do you swear that the testimony you will be giving before this committee will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God. Thank you. Our first witness is Mark Crowder. He's a Senior Federal Air Marshal with the U.S. Transportation Administration with over 20 years of experience. Before joining the Air Marshals, he served 4 years in the United States Marine Corps, 3 years as a uniformed police officer with the CIA, and 3 years as a deputy sheriff in Florida. Mr. Crowder, you are recognized for your opening statement.
Good morning, Chairman, Ranking Member Peters, and distinguished members of the committee. Okay, we'll try that again. Good morning, Chairman, Ranking Member Peters, and distinguished members of the committee. I'm going to start by reading a memo that I was advised to read by my management. The views I express are my own and should be construed as not representing the official policy or position of the Department of Homeland Security, Transportation Security Administration, or the United States. I've also been advised that whistleblowing is an official duty. With that being said, I'll go into my testimony. Again, my name is Mark Crowder, a Senior Federal Air Marshal with over 20 years of service protecting the American people. In those 2 decades, I have flown millions of miles to safeguard our nation. Like so many others, I answered the call to serve after the devastating attacks of September 11, 2001. Driven by an unshakable resolve to ensure such a tragedy would never happen again, at its peak, the Federal Air Marshal Service embodied the highest standards in federal law enforcement, renowned for excellence in firearms, tactics, and specialized training. Today, I come before you to report that those standards have been eroded. The agency's once clear mission has been distorted by career bureaucrats and political appointees who prioritize personal advancement over the safety of our citizens. My testimony will expose how federal law enforcement agencies sworn to protect the Americans have been weaponized to target the very people it serves. On July 15, 2021, while serving in the Houston Field Office Operations Unit, I was monitoring special mission coverage flights in our area of responsibility. To my shock, I discovered that my wife, Christine, seated behind me, had been flagged in the FAMS system as a domestic terrorist, falsely accused of entering the U.S. Capitol on January 6, 2021. I was horrified. I knew with absolute certainty that Christine was nowhere near the Capitol that day. My wife, who has a disability that prevents her from walking long distances, had simply exercised her First Amendment right to attend a rally for President Trump before returning to her hotel. As a Federal Air Marshal with a top secret security clearance, I immediately reported the alarming designation to my supervisors, noting that according to their system, I was living with a terrorist, a clear insider threat. The special agent in charge, William Opperly, instructed me to remain silent and let the investigation run its course. Shockingly, no one expressed concerns about the potential compromise of classified information through my household. SAC Opperly was later promoted to senior positions within the agency. From July 2021 till April 2023, Christine was subjected to approximately 13 special mission coverages. Each time she flew, teams of Federal Air Marshals surveilled her. She was barred from checking in on the airport kiosk, online, and forced to endure long waits at ticket counters for TSA's verification of her identification and to take control of her luggage. She is then subjected to invasive secondary screening at TSA security checkpoints. After the checkpoint, she is then searched again at the jetway by the TSA's Advanced Threat Local Allocation Strategy Teams, also known as ATLAS. This treatment extended to anyone traveling with her, including her elderly mother and our daughter, causing them both significant distress. In one particular disturbing instance, I was off duty flying armed with Christine. The FAM team assigned to surveil her that day had to coordinate with me, an armed Federal Air Marshal, traveling with an alleged terrorist. How could an agency allow such a glaring operational and ethical conflict to persist? I only learned of my wife's designation because of my insider role within the agency. How many other innocent Americans have been falsely labeled as terrorists and surveilled without their knowledge? How many had their conversations, travel companions, and devices unknowingly monitored? With the assistance of Sonia Labasco and the Air Marshal National Council, I exposed this injustice and halted the surveillance of my family. At the same time, Quiet Skies missions and those targeting Americans who attended January 6 events, including public figures like Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard, dominated FAM's operations. These politically motivated priorities diverted critical resources and genuine security threats, betraying the solemn promises we made after 9/11. Never again. The events I've described are betrayal of American values. The weaponization of federal law enforcement to harass and intimidate citizens exercising their constitutional rights is unconscionable. Senior officials at the FBI, Department of Homeland Security, TSA, and the FAM service should have recognized these actions as beyond the scope of lawful authority and intervened. Someone fabricated false claims about my wife's actions on January 6 to advance a politically motivated agenda. Those responsible must be identified, and accountability must be enforced to root out the corruption and restore public trust in federal law enforcement. Thank you for the opportunity to present my testimony.
Next up, we have Tristan Levitt. Mr. Levitt is the president